Welcome to the Solution Building Podcast with Mark Eastman. Today's solution: what should I do first? What makes one thing more important than another? I read about this time priority analogy several years ago in Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In this book, there's a good analogy of managing our choices. Here's how the story goes. As this man stood in front of the group of high-powered overachievers, he said, "Okay, time for a quiz." Then he pulled out a 1-gallon wide-mouthed mason jar and set it on a table in front of him. Then he produced about a dozen fist-sized rocks and carefully placed them one at a time into the jar. When the jar was filled to the top and no more rocks would fit inside, he asked, "Is this jar full?" Everyone in the class said, "Yes." Then he said, "Really?" And he reached under the table and brought out a bucket of sand. He started dumping the sand in, and it went into all the spaces left between the rocks and the gravel. Once more he asked the question, "Is the jar full?" "No!" the class shouted. Once again he said, "Good!" Then he grabbed a pitcher of water and began to pour it in until the jar was filled to the brim. Then he looked up at the class and asked, "What is the point of this illustration? If you don't put the big rocks in first, you'll never get them in at all." Too often we approach time as though there's no limit. We all need to do better at managing our time and what our priorities are. If I'm going to be the most productive, I need focused intensity on the big rocks that will help me to achieve my goals. What are the big rocks in your life?
Thanks for listening to the Solution Building Podcast. If you'd like more information on business systems and coaching that can help you be more successful, check out the blog archives at solutionbuilding.net.